What's good, YouTube? Today I'm bringing you my Maliss deck profile with the twist this time. This time I did alter my deck with the specific mindset of keeping it under $50, also adding a bit of toxicity with it. As you can see, spoiler alert, I do have 3-dimensional Fissures in this deck with Dimension Shifter banished now. I feel like this is just a spicy, nice little tech to include in the deck. And most people are honestly just not even expecting it. It's great going first. Going second as well is not too bad. Going into cards like Access Code Talker, we have plenty of cards to break boards. When you start destroying monsters and their monsters end up going to the graveyard, it's not something that's really ideal for your opponent. And again, just going back to keeping the deck budget, honestly, I feel like I don't really see too many content creators or Maliss people really talking how much the prices have dropped for this deck. I'll kind of go over prices as I'm going over the deck list. However, again, this specific deck list is around $50, and that's including the extra deck as well. It could honestly even go down a bit more. I'll show you guys throughout the video what other additions you want to make if you want to keep it under $40, or even just like getting rid of certain hand traps or extra deck monsters. But yeah, let's just get straight into the deck profile and we can kind of go over budget options as well. So starting the deck list, we have Maliss Dormouse, obviously the best starter. It is at 2. It is also a 10-cent card on TCG Player. Nothing really changing with that. Maliss White Rabbit. So this is the most expensive card, I believe, in the deck. It is currently $8. Big price drop from when I bought it. It was actually $30. So far we have like a total of $16 because the Maliss Dormouse is honestly like a 10-25 cent card. Then 3 Chessy Cat, again another 10-25 cent card if you're buying on TCG Player. You want to run 3 of it. We are also playing the Lure of Darkness for some added consistency in the deck. Then the next most expensive card, we have 2 Malice in Underground and 1 Terraforming. So basically 3 Malice in Underground. This is a $5 card. Again, big drop off from when I bought the card at $30. It is now the second most expensive card in the deck at $5. So we're looking at a little above $25 so far. Then we have Maliss in the Mirror, Maliss MTP, GWC, and TB11. Again, more 25-cent cards. With the budget build, you definitely have to max out on all the traps. Honestly, I feel like a lot of the Maliss players are even, if you watch the recent regional listings, a lot of people are actually going back to the trap cards. I feel like they add consistency to the deck. They have protection against hand traps. And especially with the budget build, we want as many consistency cards as possible. And speaking of that, we are running Gold Sark as well. Then the next reason why the deck is budget, Backup Ignister. When I bought the card, it was around, I think, $15. It has dropped to, I believe, $7. So we're running 2 because we're also running 3 AI Michu. So this is basically 5 copies of Backup Ignister. So honestly, if you want to drop another $8 off this, you can just run 3 copies and 1 copy of this. This is a 25-cent card. Backup Ignister, $8. But for now, $8 cards, $16. That brings the deck to around $40 already, plus obviously the Wizard at Ignister. But again, if you want to cut down even more, you can just remove one of these and then have 3 AI Michus and 1 Backup at Ignister. The problem with that is, obviously, if you draw AI Michu and then you have Backup at Ignister as well, obviously not the most ideal situation. However, again, playing a budget deck, it's honestly not really too much of a risk. So I can honestly see this being cut down to 1 just to make it as budget as possible. Then we are running back to Dotscaper. Obviously, with this deck is not running Malice Hair because it is a $40 card. So the next best option for Red Ransom to special summon and banish from the deck would be possibly Dotscaper. It just gives you extra extension. And again, a 25-cent card, so it just goes with the theme. Then we're also running 3-dimensional Fissures. With this card being a walking floodgate, that doesn't really impact our cards. If anything, it pluses our cards because we want our cards to get banished. When I build budget decks, I try and make them as unfair as possible. So when I was thinking of making this deck as cheap as possible, you need unfair cards. And since Shifter is banned, to 1, it's pretty much not ideal to even run it. You can if you want because we're running a Lure of Darkness as well. Then for some extra consistency, we have Called by the Grave and 2 Lure of Darkness. We're running a little over a dozen dark monsters, and then Called by the Grave just to kind of ensure that our combos go through and just our only pretty much defense against like the Molcharmies. Then we're also running 3 Bystial. So this is pretty much what we're using in place of the hair. They are great extenders. They're great against Fiendsmith cards. And then plus also a Lure of Darkness targets. I was honestly even just thinking of running 3 Baldrakes, but it kind of conflicts with the Dimensional Fissures because if our cards are banished, we don't really have them in the graveyard. Kind of just have them in here as pretty much extenders, a Lure of Darkness targets, and just other bodies to put on board. Then we're running the hand traps. So Nib is a 25-cent card, same with Drone Lockbird. Ash Blossom is a $1 card if you got the new alternative arts, with the new reprints. But again, I'm also honestly not even really including the hand traps, because if you're obviously building a deck from scratch, I don't even know if I'd recommend Maliss, just because it's kind of a intricate and complicated deck, with the lines kind of being hard to follow for new players. But if you already have the hand traps and like don't want to include that in the price range, you can easily keep the deck around $40 as well. But with the hand traps, it does put the deck at around $50. And that's just because Ash Blossom is a $1 card. And again, the draws, if you get the alternative arts, the common nibs, those we're looking at 25-cent cards here. So that wraps up the deck list. Clean 40. Definitely want to keep it at 40. Then the extra deck, we have the typical stuff. 3 of the Maliss names: White Binder, Heart Scripter, Red Ransom. We're looking at 10-cent cards here. Firewall Dragon, Allied Code Talker, Axis Code Talker, Bomber Dragon, just the other big bodies we have. Allied Code Talker did drop from, I think, like a $15 card. I think it's like around $3 now. And then the rest of these cards we're looking at like less than $1. Topologic, I think it's like a 10-cent card. I'm not really sure what Firewall Dragon is. I know when I bought this one, it was like $2, and this is the quarter century. So I don't know if there's commons, but definitely wouldn't say more than $1. Then we have the Link ones. We're talking penny cards again. Splash Mage, Cyber's Wicked, IP Masquerena, Hagrid Lycidos. Then the other card I do have in here is SP Little Knight. I mean, if you already own SP Little Knight, you can throw it in here. If not, you can honestly just replace this with another Lingeribo, or even another White Binder, or a Splash Mage. There's so many other cards. Or you can just do other IP Masquerena targets, such as the Nightmare cards for 25-cent cards. Because again, SP Little Knight is I think it's a $7 card. But if you already have it, obviously include it. If not, easily replace this with any of the Nightmare cards. So I'm gonna do a quick little shuffle, just showing you a little test hand of what the power of like this budget build does. Again, keeping it around $50, maybe a little over 50 with tax. And pending what hand traps and what extra deck monsters you already have, again, I can easily see this deck being under $40. And we're talking a top 3 meta deck. Again, it's pretty insane like how affordable the deck is now. And I know hair is a custom card. However, the deck is just as good without hair. I don't want to hear anybody in the comments talking like, oh, without hair. Unless you, obviously, if you're trying to attend a YCS, maybe even regionals, obviously you want to play hair. I feel like a big portion of the Yu-Gi-Oh community is not attending YCSs. Obviously you wouldn't be watching budget videos as well. But if you're just trying to play some of the high tier meta decks, it's easily accessible. And don't let any of those people that net deck and try and do optimal ratios and everything talk you out of playing Maliss without hair. It's honestly just as good, creates just the same end board. Hopefully can prove that in this test hand. The deck is obviously a little less consistent, but again, having the Bystials in the deck pretty much kind of do the same thing the hair does. Obviously a lot weaker though. So let's see what we get here. White Rabbit, AI Michu, MTP07, Maliss in the Mirror, and Dimensional Fissure. Okay, so pretty good going first, no hand traps. So if we're going second, not the greatest. So let's see. We can do Dimensional Fissure now, or we can just wait a little bit. Let's just start off with the AI Michu. So we'll do AI Michu. We can just go ahead and show our Allied Code Talker. From there, we can grab our backup Adagnister. This goes to the graveyard. Now we can normal summon our White Rabbit, activate its effect. Go ahead, grab us our Maliss in Underground. From here, we can go ahead, activate Maliss in Underground. That's gonna banish our Dormouse. Dormouse gets special summoned, we lose the life points. From here, we can just go ahead, use Dormouse's effect, banish from the deck. We can banish our Chessy Cat. Chessy Cat, pay the life points, get special summon back. From here, we can just go into Splash Mage, utilizing these two. Might as well just go ahead and set our MTP07 actually. Just kind of, probably would have did that earlier just to kind of protect us from hand traps. So I'm gonna keep it face up just so you know it's down there. So from here we have a few options. We can utilize our Chessy Cat, banish our Maliss in the Mirror, draw 2 cards, and then activate Maliss in the Mirror to banish one of our monsters and add some follow-up. We can just go straight into the backup Adagnister, but then we'd have to discard our Dimension Fissure. So I think I'm gonna do Chessy Cat first just to get us some draws to see if we have a better discard for backup Adagnister. So we're gonna go ahead, banish our Maliss in the Mirror, get 2 draws, Bystial Magnamhut, and Ash Blossom. Okay, so actually really good draws. I'm not really sure what I would discard at this point. Then we're gonna go ahead on a new chain, activate our Maliss in the Mirror. So if this card is banished, you can target one Maliss card in your graveyard, banish it, and if you do, add one Maliss card with the same type. So we're gonna go ahead and just banish our Dormouse. And then Dormouse is gonna go ahead and add us another Dormouse for our follow-up turn. So we have follow-up with Dormouse now. Typically with this line, you'd wanna get Hair, just to have like a Bystial effect in hand for your opponent's turn. But now we're just gonna go ahead, activate Splash Mage, special summon this. Then we're gonna get a card that we can discard with our backup at Ignister. Gonna go ahead and go into Red Ransom. So then we can go ahead, activate Red Ransom's effect. If this card is special summon, you can add one Malice spell card from your deck to your hand. Just gonna go ahead and add Malice in Underground. And we're gonna utilize that to discard for a backup at Ignister. So we're just gonna go ahead, special summon backup at Ignister, activate its effect. In case you don't know what it does, if you control a Cyrus monster that was special summoned from the extra deck, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal special summon, you can add one Dark Cyrus monster from your deck to your hand, except backup at Ignister, then discard one card. So this is gonna grab us the other extender and get us two more bodies on board. So it's gonna get Wizard at Ignister. And now we can discard the Malice in Underground. So we get to keep the two hand traps we drew, keep the follow-up, and still have the Dimensional Fissure as well. So now we're just gonna go into our white binder actually. Yeah, I think we're just gonna do that. Special summon white binder and activate white binder's effect. We can banish the Red Ransom. I guess we can just do the Chessy Cat as well. Might as well just do Malice in Underground just to have more Malice names banished. From there, we can go ahead, activate Red Ransom's effect to special summon itself. Then when Red Ransom gets special summoned, we can activate her effect to banish our Dotscaper. Then Dotscaper gets special summoned back as well. Then we can go ahead, utilize White Binder's effect. During your main phase, you can set one Malice trap card from your deck or graveyard. Just gonna go ahead and do our GWC. So that's gonna be set over there. So now we have two Malice trap cards. From here, we can actually just go ahead, activate our GWC, banishing our White Binder. From there, we can just go ahead, special summon a Chessy Cat. Then White Binder gets special summoned as well. So when White Binder gets special summoned, we get another draw. So that's gonna be our third draw. We get another Bystial. So we're having a really good draw so far, 3 Bystials in hand. And we also gain 1,500 life points. We pretty much gain all the life points we lost from doing all the banishing and special summoning. So from here we can do Firewall Dragon, or we can do Heart's Cryptor. I think Heart's Cryptor might be better. That way we just have it in rotation. We had to get rid of these 3. Heart's Cryptor can be up here. Then we can go ahead, special summon our Wizard at Ignister. And that's gonna go ahead, special summon another Dark Monster. We can go ahead and utilize Heart's Cryptor and Chessy Cat, go into our Firewall Dragon. Then we can go ahead, special summon our Bystial Magnamhut from our hand by banishing our Heart's Cryptor from the graveyard. That gets special summon. Then Heart's Cryptor can go ahead, since it was banished, and special summon itself. Activate Bystial Magnamhut so we can add another Bystial at the end phase. If you, obviously, it would be great to add Druisworm. However, with Druisworm being like, I think, a $9 card, I didn't include it. However, if you have Druisworm, you can go ahead and do that. Then we can go ahead and do 3, 4, 5 right here. Special summoning our Access Code Talker. Since the zones are already taken, since we have the Heart's Cryptor here, since we already had so many zones filled up, probably could have done better zone placement. We won't be able to get Red Ransom and White Binder, but we can still get it on the follow-up turn since we have the Bystial in hand. So for now, we're just gonna go ahead and put White Binder there and have Red Ransom in the graveyard. With this board right here, we have a Banish, a Bounce 3, White Binder on the field, and then a Omni Negate with the Allied Code Talker. And then another Banish with MTPL 7 also gives us more follow-up. We have follow-up with Dormouse, and then we have Ash Blossom and Bystial in hand. We'd go ahead and set our Dimensional Fissure. So obviously a really powerful board right here. Obviously this is uninterrupted, so it might not have been as strong, but look at this board. It's pretty much uncrackable at this point. When we pass turn, we can go ahead and utilize Allied Code Talker at Ignister, probably bounce the White Binder, negate whatever they have. Then from there, go ahead and special summon our Bystial Baldrake, banishing our White Binder, then special summoning itself back. And then when White Binder gets special summon, we can banish something from their graveyard. And then White Binder gets to just banish our White Rabbit. White Rabbit gets to come back. And then White Binder can go ahead and set another trap card. That'll go ahead and set our TB11 just for more follow-up. Then we also have Bystial Baldrake's effect. Because if your opponent special summons a Ritual, Fusion, Synchro, XYZ, and or Link monster, you contribute one other light or dark monster, then target one of those special summon monsters and banish it. So we have a bunch of dead cards on hand now. Plus white binders, since it was banished, we would get another draw. We get Chessy Cat, not the best draw. We would go ahead and probably just bounce this, banish one of their cards. We have this to banish. Follow up, we have the bounce with Firewall Dragon. So much going on. So obviously you can see really strong end board, and we still have Ash in hand, and then two Malice cards as well. So the Ash obviously would have stopped any additions they would draw. Then just having the Dimensional Fissure, pretty much stopping any rogue decks or any decks that pretty much don't want their cards to get banished. Great against Yugioh as well, because they won't be able to recycle their detonator. So as you can see, this is a $40, $50, $60 budget version of Malice, and it still pretty much creates the same powerful end boards without the March Hare. But yeah, if you guys want to see more test hands or maybe an even cheaper version of this deck, let me know in the comments below. I am trying to reach 500 subscribers. I've been doing this for like 3 months now. Just recently hit 400 subs over the weekend. Sunday night hit 400 subs, pretty big milestone. Next step is 500 subscribers. I will be doing a giveaway at that point as well. So if you guys can either reach out to your friends, let them know about my channel, trying to get to 500 subs for the giveaway for y'all. But I think that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.